Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mama Brick channel, and here we've been talking about digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, different trends in the cryptocurrency space, and we've been looking at this for quite some time. We've looked at the evolution of cryptocurrencies, especially through smart contracts on Ethereum. Well, with the advent of Bitcoin, smart contracts on Ethereum, we've seen cryptos like EOS, we've seen all kinds of cryptocurrencies emerge as ERC20 standards as they were on blockchains. We've seen Cosmos implementing different things. Today, I want to talk about privacy in the cryptocurrency space, but rather I want to talk about some cryptocurrencies that natively implement this and a little bit of why important it is. Now, different cryptocurrencies out there have their own value propositions. Bitcoin has clearly established itself as a store of value, at least that's the way the world is seeing it. Ethereum started as the one that, all these dynamic things can be applied onto it. For example, metaverses, NFTs, because it showcased how smart contracts can actually be leveraged to do things like decentralized finance, to launch ERC20 tokens, and they have different other standards like I think 1155 smart contracts where you can launch NFTs that can do different things. You can diversify ownership of one particular NFTs. There's different use cases that people are trying to figure out. Then we have currencies like EOS that emerged that were doing other things, trying to scale what Ethereum can do, but on a different scaling model through a kind of resource model where you use sort of RAM or some kind of resource on the blockchain to be able to have some sort of stake in that ecosystem. So different cryptocurrencies, look at them and try to find out, especially if the teams are doing something solid, to try and figure out what they're trying to do. Now, when you look at all these different use cases, for example, so Filecoin, they're doing storage, and we have a Chainlink, which is doing oracles, so being able to transfer legitimate data between blockchains to be used for different things like synthetic assets. Now, when you compare all these use cases that, one blockchain, there's no one size fits all, but different blockchains can actually serve different use cases, that's where you get into things like privacy. There's many reasons as to why someone may want their transaction to be private, including organizations. Maybe they're doing the type of work that doesn't need to be monitored, including governments, including individuals, maybe a school, maybe a business. For safety, you don't want every single aspect of your business to be made public. So there's many use cases as to why you might want to use especially a permissionless blockchain that is private. So when you do a simple Google search, of course, the OG of privacy is Monero. This is the one of the highest demanded tokens out there because of their perfection and using different technologies like ZK snarks, like zero knowledge proofs to be able to transfer. Now, to give you a brief sort of understanding of what this privacy does, for example, traditional cryptocurrencies you can send, but before we go into that, if you do a simple Google search, you see things like Monero, Zcash, these are some of the OGs of privacy, Dash as well. Then there's others like Horizon. This is not investment advice or advice on what to use. Make sure you do your due diligence and see which blockchain actually serves the purpose you're looking for. There's things like Verge, Green, Bitcoin. This is what you'll see mainly if you do a simple Google search, but I'll make today's focus on Monero just to talk about the use cases. Now, if you're using some of these, if you're using the traditional blockchains, for example, Bitcoin or Ethereum, you have two addresses. You have user A and user B, and you can send funds from user A to user B, right? So they can see where the funds have originated from and how many tokens have been sent by user A to user B. Now, the main aspect of this privacy thing is that, for example, if I'm user A wanting to send funds, a particular number of funds to user B, well, I have two addresses. I'm aware of my own address that contains the funds, and I'm aware of the address of the other user to which I'm going to send the tokens to. And when I make a transaction of these tokens and you get that transaction hash, the number that shows you that indeed there was a transaction between these two public addresses, when you go and type that into a scan or some kind of blockchain monitor out there, you might see that these two addresses sent indeed transactions. So you're able to verify that these two addresses sent tokens between themselves, but you cannot see how many tokens were actually sent between themselves. There's also other improvements that they can implement or that they've implemented where you can actually choose if your funds can actually be seen or not. So you can maybe implement this feature or not this feature, or you can choose what particular addresses that could be able to see the amount of tokens that have been sent. So you could actually create that sort of filter or that selection feature that enables specific addresses to be able to see these transactions and others not to be able to see them. And there's many, of course, useful use cases that can come with privacy. So if you're out there and we're speaking to this, the reason why I'm making this video is because privacy is extremely important, especially when we're living in the age of cryptocurrencies, where we need to be aware of those core values of crypto, where we make these sayings like not your keys, not your coins, because it's very important to be in control of your financial situation and understand how your currency works, how your money works, where it comes from, where it's going, and the value of what you hold. Because if you're going to hold these things for long term, you're going to use them for different purposes like transferring money or investment purposes. You need to understand the use case and why they've been created. And if your use case is privacy, and you want to keep yourself private, at least as you're storing your crypto assets, your digital assets, call them whatever you want. And in terms, whenever you want to transfer them, you want to maintain that privacy due to security reasons. You never know. Maybe you're living in a very insecure country and you want to maintain that privacy. Otherwise, it could be a life or death situation. There's many reasons as to why you may want to keep your transactions private. So holding your coins and knowing which cryptocurrencies serve a particular purpose that might fit your particular need at that particular time is extremely important. And that's why I decided to push out this video. In case there's people out there that do not know, there's cryptocurrencies out there, mainly Monero, Zcash, and Dash. These have really sort of established themselves as those cryptocurrencies that are trying to focus solely on this aspect of privacy, maintaining that privacy. And you can also see, despite being in the depths of their bear markets, you can see their price points. For example, $33. If they were dead, there would be zero something, $39. And of course, Monero, the OG, you can see it at a $131 price point. So this is sort of a brief short video to kind of portray this message out there, to put this message out there that there's no one size fits all for different cryptocurrencies, and different cryptocurrencies or digital assets are created for different use cases. For example, NFTs, you cannot say that an NFT can serve maybe the same purpose as a whole blockchain. A whole blockchain may serve the purpose of running smart contracts, or we have even new blockchains like app chains, which may be created for a specific purpose, running a specific activity, where maybe there's for example, things we call finite state machines. So that application blockchain may run a specific activity within a limited time and then it shuts off. So there's going to be different evolutions or different use cases of digital currencies, and don't let anyone ever tell you that there's don't let anyone ever convince you that you need to have a maximalist tendency in this digital currency space, because it's going to evolve to fit all kinds of use cases as we continue seeing its evolution. All right, guys, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.